Asian tsunami devastated the tiny island of Koh Phi Phi in Thailand. Hundreds lost their lives. Among them, Piers Simon from Somerset.
His family have returned there to see how the rebuilding work is progressing. Part of that has been the removal of the debris from the water. In the second of his special reports, Mark Gibson reports on how the money they've raised in Piers' name is being spent on this, their hardest journey.
When the tsunami smashed into this small island on that bright Boxing Day morning, no one knew it was coming. No one could have imagined the cost in human life and the damage it would do. As the wave came in from the sea, it was funneled through the bay, getting bigger and bigger all the time. Only those who could get on top of sturdy buildings or up into the hills survived. Hundreds of tons of debris were washed out to sea. Entire buildings and their contents deposited in the once tranquil, crystal clear waters around the islands. Celia and Henry Simon lost their son Piers that morning. Since then, they've raised nearly £100,000 to help get the island back on its feet. Part of that job has been to clean up the bay. Andrew Hewitt has spent months leading the underwater clear-up.
Well, it was everything you can imagine on the beach. We had pieces of metal, refrigerators, washing machines sticking out of the beach. As soon as we went underwater, it was like a field of debris.
Piers Simon's body was found 5 days after the tsunami hit, but it was not until 3 months later that his rucksack, still full, was found and returned to his parents in Somerset. For the Simons family, Andrew Hewitt's clean-up project has been critical to the island's future.
Honestly, without his work, and he has dedicated himself to it, probably more than anybody else in the field, the island just would not really have a chance to go forward in the same way, and the magic, I think, would have been lost. Everybody really comes here for a beautiful sea and to see the fish and see the fish over the coral reefs. And Andrew's the guy who's really resurrected the island and rejuvenated it, I hope, for the future.
Thousands of volunteers helped, and piece by piece, hundreds of tons of debris were brought up from the bay. Local Thais were paid a salary so they could return from the mainland and help.
As time went on and our pontoons grew and so did our crews, we were taking out a number of tons of debris every day, and it was always sheet metal and roofing and doorways and windows and all sorts of things. What we planned to do was to lay out large nets on the bottom, and then we would fill the nets with all the debris that was lying around them and then connect the lift bags to them, and we'd pop them up to the surface.
Over the months following the tsunami, more than 280 tonnes were removed by hand from the water. Most of that work has now been done, but out in the bay, Andrew wanted to show me just how powerful the wave had been. Nearly half a mile out, there is a beach house still on the bottom. It is eerie diving through a building underwater, and you cannot help wondering whether anyone was in it when the wave came. 600 people are still missing. Their remains have never been found, although one body was recovered during the clean-up.
It was a relief to actually finally find someone.
That person still hasn't been identified?
Not as far as I know, no. There's a young lady, I don't know what origin, what nationality.
The Simons family have always been grateful Piers was found and identified. Now they want the island to be returned to the way Piers knew it.
For a start, to get the tourists back, so they just had to do that before any of the boats could come in. So it was a very big job that he had to do, but you can see now, look at it.
The transformation of this island in the months since the tsunami has been remarkable. Paradise was lost for a while, but it is being found again. Mark Gibson in Thailand for The West Tonight.
Extraordinary work.
It is a beautiful place. Now, tomorrow, in the third of his exclusive reports, Mark tells how the Simons Family Charity Appeal is helping Thai people return to rebuild their homes and villages.